Yes, good morning, dear students. Today we will discuss intermediate modifying and terminating devices. So, as we know already that the two stages one can get the output. So, for that, the intermediate modifying devices are very essential to convert one form of energy into another form. And in maximum applications, the mechanical energy is converted into electrical energy in maximum conditions, and terminating devices are so used. So for example, if you take the system mechanical system, we'll see afterwards in introduction itself. The output of the first stage has to be modified before it becomes usable and satisfactory to drive the third stage devices such as indicator, recorder, data processing elements, or control elements. Measurement of dynamic mechanical quantities requires faithful representation of their analog or digital output obtained from the intermediate stage, that is signal conditioning stage, and this places a severe strain on the signal conditioning requirements. Signal conditioning equipment may be required to do linear processes like amplification, that is magnification, attenuation, integration, differentiation, addition, subtraction, and subtraction. They are also required to do nonlinear processes like modulation, demodulation, sampling, filtering, or multiplication by another function, etc. These tasks are not simple and require proper selection of components and most faithful methods of reproducing output signals for the third stage devices. Okay, next, mechanical systems. An input signal is often converted to mechanical displacement by the primary detector transducers. So in that, a simple dial indicator is the example we take. So that plunger will move up and down. So itself is the primary detector, primary movement. That is mechanical displacement, we can say. Okay, it is often usually fed to the secondary transducer, which converts it into electrical form. But in case of dial indicator, that processing unit also once again mechanical, which turn can easily processed by the intermediate stage devices. However, in some cases, mechanical displacement is fed to the mechanical intermediate elements using linkages, gearing, cams, etc. These mechanical elements present design problems of considerable magnitude, particularly if dynamic inputs have to be handled. For example, consider mechanical type dynamic measuring instrument, namely piston and spring engine. Pressure indicator. The primary detector transducer is the piston cylinder and spring combination. The pressure in the engine cylinder is detected and transduced, that is converted to the displacement. Further, it is modified before it is used by the recorder. The maximum displacement of the engine lever in this case is 7.5 mm, and an amplification of 6 is achieved, 6 times greater is achieved using a pantograph linkage mechanism. The size of the mechanism used to get the amplification or magnification is quite big compared to the corresponding electrical amplification. Further, there are several problems associated with mechanical systems when used intermediate modifying devices because of maximum linkages, levers linkages are used in the mechanical systems. Okay, in that we will see the important this one, cathode ray oscilloscope. In short, we can say cathode ray oscilloscope, CRO. And here, so this is the heater element is that. So it is just a minute. This is heater, and here it is not written. This is cathode. It is this is cathode, and this is grid to control spot intensity, and so these are accelerating nodes and horizontal deflection plates, vertical deflection plates, electron beam. So this is fluorescent screen. Okay, here, so two portions. First, the just a minute. Electron gun assembly, electron gun and deflection plates. Like that, three stages we can do for working of this cathode ray oscilloscope. It is most versatile readout device for mechanical measurements. It is used for measurement and analysis of waveforms and other phenomena in electrical and electronic circuits. This is a voltage sensitive instrument with an inertia less beam of electrons striking the fluorescent screen. The extremely low inertia beam of electrons enable it to be used for the following changes in rapidly varying voltages. So just what are the changes? And here the first, electron gun assembly. The electron gun assembly produces a sharply focused beam of electrons, which in turn are accelerated to high velocity. This beam of electrons strikes the fluorescent screen with sufficient energy to cause a luminous spot on the screen. Okay, next, so this thing, electron gun. An electron gun emits electrons and makes them into a beam. It consists of a heater. So this is heater. This is cathode, grid, focusing and accelerating anodes. Electrons are emitted from and directly heated cathode. These electrons pass through a small hole in the control grid. So here small hole is provided. Small hole in the control grid. The intensity of electron beam depends on the number of electrons emitted from the cathode. The grid controls the electrons emitted from the cathode, and hence the intensity is controlled by grid. The electrons passing through the grid are accelerated by accelerating nodes. Next, deflection plates. So here horizontal vertical deflection plates are there. After leaving the electron gun, so this portion, after leaving the electron gun, this portion, the electron beam passes through two pairs of electrostatic deflection plates. Voltage applied to a pair of vertical plates moves the electron's beam vertically up or down. And if the voltage is applied to the pair of horizontal plates, they move the electron beam horizontally from one end to the another end on the another end of the screen. So this screen. Okay, the cathode ray tube is evacuated so that the emitted electron can move freely from one of the ends to the other. Okay, so this is normal procedure to emit that. So one more important aspect, XY plotters. So here XY plotters. So in the XY plotter, The XY plotter is an instrument used to obtain a Cartesian graph generated by two DC inputs, one plotted along the x-axis and other along the y-axis. In XY plotters, an EMF is plotted as a function of another EMF. This is done by having one self-balancing potentiometer to control the position of the paper, that is graph paper, while another self-balancing potentiometer to the control of the position of the pen. Graph paper is required, pen is required. So this all comes under this XY plane. In some XY plotters, one self-balancing potentiometer circuit moves a recording pen in the X direction and another self-balancing potentiometer circuit moves the pen in the Y direction, while the paper remains stationary, constant. The EMF used for the operation of XY plots may be the output of transducer that may be measured, that may measure displacement, force, pressure, strain, or any other physical quantity. Thus, with the help of XY plotters, along with appropriate transducer, a physical quantity may be plotted against another physical quantity. In the graph, just we see x side, y side. So this is the graph obtained. That this is completely servo mechanized one. So by that one can obtain the graph in this state. Okay, these are XY plotters. Okay, the signals are attenuated to the full scale range of the plotter. The signal then possesses to balance circuit where it is compared with an internal reference voltage. Then the difference between the input signal voltage and the reference voltage is fed to the chopper, which converts DC signal to an AC signal. The signal is then amplified in order to drive the servo motors. The action described above that takes place in both axes simultaneously. Thus, we get a record of one variable with respect to another like this. Okay, this is about XY plotters. Okay, thank you, students.